Now call the meeting to order.
Ms. Carter? Here. Mr. Hibbard?
Here.
Ms. Klein?
Here.
Ms. Huffman?
Here.
Ms. Enlow is not here. Mr. Newton?
Here. Okay, thank you. Miss Tammy Baker is joining us by phone call, so she's on
Yes,
the
Mayor,
line.
I'm here, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. We're gonna go with approval of the minutes. This is 12/13/21 regular meeting minutes. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Okay, that was Lisa Carter.
Second.
Deb Huffman, second. All in favor? 3 hands over here, 2 over here, 5 of them, 1 absent. All right, approval of the December 20th. This is a special meeting minutes. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion was Deb.
Second.
Second was Lisa Carter. Okay, all in favor? 3, 5,
I'm
4 hands
against
are up.
because I was not here. Well, not
Oh.
against, abstain.
Okay, abstain. Okay, Stacy abstained. She was absent. All right, next, now we have announcement. Monday, January 17th is a holiday for City Hall, and it's an observance of Martin Luther King Day. And now in the presentation next from Mike, he's an engineering director for GE. Thank you so much, Mike. If you want to come up, or, and I guess hit the podium there, and if you touch that microphone right here on the tip, you'll see it'll turn green, the very tip of it. Right there, there you go.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, and then introduce yourself if you want to. And
Thank
welcome.
you. Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Just a little background so you know what you're getting ready to hear. My name is Mike Ekbundit. I'm an engineering director for engineering development at GE Appliances. I basically am one of the owners for the college talent pipeline for the engineering group at GE Appliances. That's what I do during the day, along with hanging out with some really smart kids here in Bullitt County Public Schools. I've worked in the school district for the entire 13 years that I've lived here in the county. And the last 6 or 7 years, we've been working on year-long engineering projects with the high school students. Most recently at the Bullitt Advanced Math and Science program over here behind Bullitt Central. This year, we expanded to include Bullitt Central and Bullitt East. These projects, they're 1 school year long. We go in with an open-ended question and let the students do whatever. Just solve the problem. And then I, along with a small army of volunteer engineers and other people from GE Appliances, come around and help lead the students as they solve the problems. And then we lead them on a guided tour, basically. And then by the end of the year, they build a thing. So at this point, we're about halfway through. And so the student teams today from Bullitt Central are going to, there's 2 of them, they're going to each present an idea that they would like to have you all consider for potential usage here in the district. So all we really need from you today is just to hear the students out and thumbs up or thumbs down, really. That's it. If you can imagine a use here in the county for whatever idea they propose, that's great, and we'll continue working on it. If not, then we'll go to Plan B, and the students will start something else with the intent of building something by the end of the school year. So that's all we really have to have from you today. There's no ask of money, time, nothing. We just, do you like the idea or not? And then we'll carry on from here, and hopefully, if we got 2 thumbs up for the 2 ideas today, then we'll come back towards the end of the school year and give you a more detailed presentation on cost, implementation, and some of the other details that you'll probably care about more. So we're doing this at Bullitt East also. One question that came up at the Mount Washington City Council when we did that right before the holiday, the council asked whether or not we would be modifying any property or anything, and just up front, no, we're not doing anything until you say so. These are design ideas the students are working on, and we will not be modifying or digging or doing anything at any park or public space or any property owned. These are design ideas that are going to get built at the school by the students in private space. We're not going to mess up anything in the county. So just let you know that up front. So hopefully, enjoy what hopefully will be a conversation with the students. Bullet Central team number 1. Introduce yourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First and foremost, we'd like to thank you for having us. It's been an honor working with this project with Mike Ragbunnet. We are seniors at Bullitt Central High School in the engineering pathway, and my name is Jacob Hibbard, followed with my brother Jared Hibbard and Brady Rossi. We are Team MAN, which stands for Making Accessibility Normal. We were tasked by GE Appliances to go to our local parks and find problems with mobility issues and people that may relate to problems with disabilities. As you can see here, we have the picture of the park with 3 red circles on it. With it, it shows where the picnic tables are and how far distance they are, and they're away from all the playground and everything else. In the bottom left of the screen, you can see that the table is wood, old, it's just in poor condition, and we want to make it better.
So what we're hoping to do is make a table/leisure area that people of all walks of life can go and enjoy. So as you look at the little model we have there, there's the 4 seats that we have. Those will move in and out for people of different heights. As for example, I need a little less leg room than these guys over here because I'm a little short, but it will adjust for heights. It'll be big enough for most people to sit in, and it will also rotate. Sort of like you can rotate the seat to the person instead of the person having to walk all the way across and get to their seat. I feel my grandpa, he can't do that very well. He gets around really hard, so it'd be nice to make that distance a little shorter. And so basically make it big enough for everyone and for everyone to enjoy a nice equal share experience. That's why we also have the octagonal shape for 4 and 4. It's just where more people can sit there and enjoy time compared to just a regular picnic table. And we have noticed several challenges with this as well, as there is several things in the way. There's little roped off areas, especially in the Shepherdsville Park. And basically just the terrain alone might need to even that out a little bit, but altogether it should be easy enough to get these nice little areas with like several tables, maybe even a canopy, just for people to enjoy their time and spend with people different walks of life.
Some of the action items that we have accomplished while with this program, we have met with GE Appliances several times, discussed mechanical issues with how the table rotates, how you might be able to get around to it. We have discussed mechanical features such as if someone can trip over it, how a wheelchair can roll up to it and be able to stop at the table. We have went to many of the parks in the Bullitt County area like Brownhill Forest and Frankie Simon. We feel like it would be best suited at Frankie Simon Park. The impact that we want this table to have is we want everyone to feel welcome at the park, and we want the park to be where it used to be, where everyone would go and play and have fun there. Any questions?
Looks good.
Is this something you want to present to the cities and such, or the county to put in parks and such?
Yes. Yeah, we're hoping to just get this in just like nice little public areas for people to just have a table that they don't have to worry about sitting on the end, feeling left out. Just everyone's having an equal share experience.
What type of material is it gonna be made out of?
We're still in the progress of that. Probably thinking like some sort of metal, but right now that's still all up in the air. Same thing with the cost and everything. That'll be probably within our next steps. And this is our first blueprint, so things probably will change and update and probably make it better as time progresses as well.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you looked at any designs in brick?
Is that the masonry ordinance for heaven? Yeah, that's.
Lisa likes brick.
Yeah.
Stainless steel's good too.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's something that's a thumbs up. Yeah, we'll entertain that if you want to come back again. And,
Yeah.
Thumbs up,
Yeah.
thumbs up on that one.
Yeah,
Like
thumbs
that
up.
idea,
Mhm.
or the handicap,
Yeah.
maybe the handicap, just a wheelchair up.
Mhm.
These look like they slide in and out.
So we got 5 thumbs up?
Yeah.
Five,
Yep.
five thumbs up, five thumbs up.
Good idea,
So that-
guys. Done.
Thank you for that presentation. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
all.
I didn't know you was voting.
All right, so we're ready for what, team two? Okay.
Just so you know,
Yes, Mike.
the intent, when the students come back, and later this school year, we'll be bringing a full-size and functional model representative. So we're gonna
Okay.
start building a functional, small-scale model now, when we go back to school. But the intent is to come back with a price and a timing and, bill of materials and all the things that would be required to put this into real life. And so, just.
Yeah,
So
I
are
can see us probably putting
Are
one of
they
them in the
wanting
park.
to put it-
Yes.
Are they wanting to put it in the Mount Washington Park too?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to,
When you said Bullet East, I didn't know.
So there are 16, actually, teams working on 16 different projects here
Oh,
in the county.
Okay.
So you're only
Yeah.
hearing about 2 of them. 4 of them were presented at Mount Washington City Council a few weeks
Okay.
ago.
Okay.
And there are,
Okay.
a whole bunch more that you haven't heard yet, so.
Okay.
But we just thought we'd bring 2 today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so this is team number
This was
2
just one
of the
project.
presentation of GE appliances.
One project is a different one, yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, do y'all want to give your names? And y'all, are all 3 of you from Bullet Central?
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
I'm Jarrett Thornhill.
I'm Virginia Boyle. And I'm Lindsay Huggett. We are all seniors from Bullet Central High School, like you said, and we are currently working in our capstone engineering.
Project in accompanying with GE appliances.
So in Frankie Simon Park, we do have 2 pavilions. However, there are some mobility issues getting to those. So I have a very dear friend of mine who has been bound in a wheelchair all her life. And we like to get together a lot and hang out with her because, she can't do much. So, do what we can with her while we can.
Mhm.
So, if we wanted to go to Frankie Simon and hang out, though, it'd be very difficult to get her to those pavilions because of the concrete that they sit on. So we just have to find a different area or keep her stuck at home, which I'm sure she doesn't want.
Our design will hopefully solve this issue. One of the main problems with concrete sidewalks is the labor that goes up front with it. Having a prefabricated sidewalk here, or as you can see, it would allow for quick and easy installation of a crew of a minimum of 2 people instead of a crew of 10 to 16 people. To be able to be done within a day instead of multiple weeks with less environmental impact. It has adjustable feet to allow it to adapt to terrain, to allow it to have a level surface so that people in wheelchairs and walkers can traverse across it as a perfectly safe travel area. Its connector pins will allow it to have a firm but rigid connection to allow so it won't come up in the ground. Possible idea we've had is to incorporate torque security bolts into it. A special kind of bolt that you need a special tool to get into that normal people won't have unless they order it specifically. And so nobody can come up and steal it. It has an array of holes to help reduce weight and to allow for water flow in rainy or muddy conditions.
So far, we've had the following challenges with designing this. We've had the terrain adjustability, so figuring out a way that the terrain would be able to adjust to it, whether it was rock, grass, dirt, whatever it may be. And an effective part connection, like Jarrett said, we're trying to create an effective connection that doesn't fall or let you down, because a connection usually is a weak point in a structure, so we're really trying to avoid that. Our action items so far are problem discovery, so like she said, going around to the parks, seeing what's the problem, how we can fix it. Previous solutions that other people have done, so then we don't just copy other people on different modular sidewalks that have been previously done by other folks. As well as we've explored the problematic terrain out, we've brainstormed this idea and did a design selection based on different ideas we had. We took 7 different designs and condensed them down to make this. And we've rough modeled into the model you see today, but there is going to be more progress made on that model, and it will be cleaner once we get it together more. The next steps are going to be to determine the materials and costs, because we haven't done material testing or anything like that yet. But the overall impact is to increase accessibility for everyone, so everyone can get to their event, or so people like her friend can get to where they want to go and hang out. And it can decrease environmental effects, so you don't end up with mud or dirt all over everything, or having to dig up a spot for this particular sidewalk. And then for effective and simple ADA compliance, which is the American Disabilities Act, which is required in most public places.
So basically, our idea is kind of like a giant Lego block. That's how we expect it to kind of fit together. So let's say, like we know our teacher, Mr. Connor, has kids that play soccer, and his grandmother can't, get out to the fields to watch her grandchildren because it might be a muddy field, or maybe she just can't get access to that area. So we could create a temporary walkway, and you could place it down for maybe just that one day, if that's all you need, and then just take it back up and put it wherever else you need. It's not going to be just like a cookie cutter. It's going to have like special pieces, so you have the certain angles that you would need on a regular sidewalk.
So what do y'all think?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it too.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much for listening.
Any questions?
Is that a thumbs up on this one too?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think it's
5
good.
thumbs up. You
Yeah.
get
Like,
5
it's not
thumbs up. So,
possibilities.
Yeah.
Think y'all probably use it.
We're not sure yet. We have to go through different testing and ideas, as well
Yeah.
as pricing, to see how that's going to play out. So that's definitely in our next stages of research.
We have thought about recycled materials, but again, it's not confirmed.
okay,
Do you have any other questions? Just anything thrown out there? Anything?
I think we're good. Thank you
Thank
for the
you.
Thank you very
presentation.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Just pretty cool.
It's okay.
Y'all did good.
Thank
They
you.
really did good, didn't they? Thank you, guys. All right, next on the agenda, we have another presentation. It's from Detective Casey Clark, Shepherdsville Police Department.
Good job.
So just to introduce myself, some of you might not know me, but I'm Casey Clark, I'm a detective with my police department. I'm also an accident reconstructionist and evidence technician. So
Hit the front of that.
Hit that again.
There you go.
Oh, the green, there we go. So, accident reconstructionist and evidence technician, along with detective here at our police department. So what I'm here for today is to ask for a motion in a second to change a title of a line item in our budget. So I'm not asking for any additional funds or anything like that. Actually, this particular piece of equipment comes in about $2,300 under budget, so. So what I'm asking for is line item 7611. Right now it's titled Drone Project, to be retitled to Trimble Forensic Equipment would be perfect for this. So basically what we're asking for is to purchase a Trimble X7 forensic scanner. And what a digital forensic scanner is it takes, basically you set it up, I put some documentation out on your desk, and in the very back is a picture of one. It's like a data sheet pamphlet from Trimble, so you can kind of see what it looks like. Basically what this does is it takes hundreds of photographs, color photographs, as well as millions of measurements. And it compiles all that data into a 3D rendering of a scene, so we can reconstruct that accident, or we can use it for any type of violent crime scene or anything really. We could scan this room if we needed to for anything you needed to scan for. So in your pamphlets, there's a couple of pages after the first page of scan examples. The first one is an example of a crime scene, a small apartment, and I tried to make these as big as I could, so I apologize if they're not big enough. But you can see where you can label evidence. It takes measurements in between particular pieces of evidence in color. The second is actually a grave site, and you can see where this scanner actually takes it scans below grade as well. So that's excellent. The third picture is what looks to be a officer-involved injury collision at an intersection. So you can see kind of how we would use that with accident reconstruction. The pros of this particular piece of equipment, I'll just go through them real quick, is reduced scene time, which is extremely important to us and to everybody behind me when it comes to traffic. It can also be used in inclement weather, which is another huge benefit for us, as opposed to a drone that can't, water and drones they don't mesh well together. It can also be used inside vehicles, indoors, which is another huge benefit for crime scenes when it comes to our criminal investigation division. The annual licensing fee is cheaper on this particular piece of equipment. This equipment is also used by the Kentucky State Police, and the place that we purchase our Trimble equipment is Precision Products in Louisville, and they're part of the state program to where it's all like a certain price, if that makes sense. So just to hit a couple of those points, reduced time on the scene is extremely important when it comes to safety and traffic. The last fatal collision we had on 65. We had to shut north and southbound traffic down for 6 hours. And you all live here, we all have a stake in the community, and we know what happens when we shut the interstate down. It just locks everything up. And it's locked up for hours after we release traffic. So if we can get out there, get our accurate measurements effectively and efficiently, and get out of there, it's safer for us, it's safer for everyone else, and it relieves a lot of the pressure on the rest of the city when it comes to traffic. The current equipment that we have, we cannot use in inclement weather. And unfortunately, a lot of accidents, fatal accidents happen in inclement weather. Not so much snow, but rain especially. And then I'll touch on the yearly licensing fee here in a couple minutes. So why the X7 and not a drone? I went over a couple of the reasons. Number one, inclement weather use. 2, indoor use, which is huge for us, for crime scenes again. The ease of use, this is pretty, the software is kind of hard to use and there's a learning curve, but setting the equipment up, you set it up, it levels itself, and it starts its scan. So the FAA requires that anybody operate a drone commercially, whether it be for a police department, whether it be to take photographs for real estate, or if you have a YouTube channel, you're making any type of money whatsoever, you have to have what's called a Part 107 license. So this license takes about 15 to 20 hours of study time for the average person, and it's about $200 every 2 years to obtain that license. And that's something that you have to operate that piece of equipment. With this, we can do training in-house. So that's a little bit cheaper as well when it comes to certifying people in overtime and training and things. Cost. Again, on line item 7611, you have, which we're grateful for, by the way. Thank you for giving us that money. We have allocated $42,500 for the drone project. This project comes in at $40,189, so we're $2311 under budget. Currently, we use what's called a dongle. It's a small USB. It's about the size of a penny. And we put that in any of the computers that we use, and that kind of gives us permission to use that software. I'm sure some of you might use it at work or other places. If we lose that dongle, which when I say a penny, it's literally the size of a penny, it's $1,500. Done. Because that's what it costs us a year for that licensing fee, is $1,500 from Trimble. With a scanner, this particular scanner, the X7, they changed to a cloud-based licensing system. So we use an email and a password that we can share amongst whoever is trained to use the equipment. That licensing fee is $410 a year. So that's a savings of roughly $1,090 annually from here on out. So that's, you know, it's always good to save money, of course. This particular piece of equipment will also work with the equipment that we currently have. So we are going to trade one piece of equipment in, and that $40,189 includes that trade-in value. The next is this very small picture of the invoice. And then just real fast, I'm just going to run over some statistics with you. Our police department has 5 accident reconstructionists. In 2001, we worked 11 fatal accidents. 4 of these accidents resulting in pending criminal charges. And just as a comparison, in 2018, we had 2.
Wow.
So,
Big increase.
if I could put my finger on what the reason for the uptick was, I can't. I wish I could, and we might be able to solve this problem. But you know, more people traveling the roadways, distracted driving, intoxicated individuals, any type of impairment. It's definitely a huge increase, and I feel like we're not going to come down from here. I feel like it's going to go up. It's like it's that uptick is everywhere. It's not just in Shepherdsville. Louisville's up hundreds of % from last year, so it's unfortunately I feel like it's something that's going to come and it's going to stay. So, and average reconstruction takes anywhere from 100 to 250 hours, man hours, and it could take upwards of a year to complete. So after you get search warrants, and there's so much that's involved. So that's really, you know, just kind of quick. I know, you know, your time is important to you and everybody else. I just kind of wanted to let you know what I was asking, what we were asking for, and the reason. I know some of you might have some questions about it. If you have any questions, I'll take them.
Anybody got any questions?
I do.
Okay.
How many officers are gonna be trained? You said you had 5 officers in the reconstruction now.
Correct. At least those 5 for sure, and potentially a couple other officers for evidence collection, or if we need any help or anything.
And the cost per training initially,
It's all included in that.
it's all
price, right?
included. So the officers themselves will then train
Correct.
the other officers.
Correct.
So will this equipment be able to use at nighttime?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Where will it be based? Will it be out with, is there one of the reconstruction officers out in the public at most times? Would they have
This
this with
equipment
them?
this equipment will be locked in our oversized storage area
Okay.
because of the cost, of course. So it'll be secure, and then if we get called out for any type of issue where we need to use this equipment, then somebody will obtain that equipment and go to the scene.
Any other questions?
One other question.
Sure.
So there will not be a drone purchase for this as well?
Not at this time. I think that based on the size of our city and the interstate, I think a drone would benefit us. But I think right now, this is Casey Clark talking, we would use this particular piece of equipment way more than a drone right now for more aspects than just accident reconstruction.
All right, any other questions?
So what do you figure you said it reduced the average time you would be on site to reconstruct?
Right, so, good question. So this particular piece of equipment will scan at night. At night, it takes a little bit longer to scan because it has to take in black, and black's a harder color to take in. Let's use night for an example. It will scan 80-meter radius in 15 minutes. So, you know, if the scene's larger than 80 meters, inside of a home, 15 minutes, we're done. If the scene's larger than 80 meters, like on the interstate, then we would just have to traverse that piece of equipment in another 15 minutes. There's other things, of course, that we have to do while we're on scene, so it's not gonna be 30 minutes and we're out of there. But, and I can't give you an exact time, but it would cut it in at least 30% or better, at least.
That's good to open that roadway up, isn't it?
I didn't-
That's a home run for Shepherdsville.
I didn't catch that earlier when you said, how many incidents you said, there's an increase?
We had 11 fatal accidents in 2021, and I don't have the 2019 data, but in 2018 we had 2. Yeah, if you need to research that too, it's all on this paper as well.
Okay, so you're requesting action from the council, correct?
I would love to have a motion and a second to change that line item.
I make a motion that we change that line item from the drone to the Trimble forensic scanner.
Would that? Okay, I was, Deb and Kenny, would that be line item 7611?
Yes, 7611.
Okay, from the drone to the Trimble,
Mhm.
right? Okay, so you got a first and second, okay. Any other questions from the council?
So are we gonna reduce that line item as well to the total cost?
What would
There
you
was-
say it was within?
Well, do you wanna
It's
reduce,
within
do you wanna reduce it to
2800?
that cost there?
Yes,
Yeah,
Okay, you want to? All right,
You may give you, well, it's on the paper, but it's.
yeah, it's on the paper.
so what you do, once you purchase that, that will be closed out, no more purchase off 7611, is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, so make the motion again, with,
Okay. I want to make the motion to change line item 7611
yes.
from the drone to the Trimble forensic scanner
Okay.
and reduce the cost of the drone to the cost of the scanner.
Okay, so the current 7611 budget
Is
amount will be
42,500.
reduced to whatever this is.
So it'll be reduced to
Okay.
40,189.
Okay,
Is
you
that
got that?
correct?
That
Yes.
is correct.
That
Okay.
includes everything, tax, whatever
We're, yeah, we're
applies.
tax exempt, so,
Okay,
but yes.
Okay.
okay, Kenny,
I'll
you
second that.
you second that one? Okay, got a first and a second. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, all in favor? Three over here and two over there. Carries 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank y'all
for
so
your
much.
You're welcome.
If you have any questions, you can email me, call me, and I'll be happy to entertain.
Okay,
Thank you.
And thank you, council.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next, new business. Republic Services is here, gonna do discussion. And this is Todd. Come on up here, sir, and, yeah, I think you had some questions the other day about, extension.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Good evening, Mayor, Council. It's been a long time. Thank you so much for the invite.
you're welcome.
Really, before I get going on the extension piece, I just want to point out to the crowd the super driver, Steve Horning in the back. I don't think I would be standing up here if it wasn't for Steve. to be
Stand up a
honest
minute.
with you.
He is, people talk about him all the time.
We,
Thank you for your service.
Yes.
We know,
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you for caring about our city.
Yes.
Thank you, Steve.
for those that don't know, Steve is a citizen out here in Shepherdsville. And we knew at the very beginning, and nobody will deny it that was here, you know, we knew it'd be rocky with a new type of service coming in. Just a regular changeover, regardless of who's coming in, has problems. But I don't know if you follow along on Facebook enough or not, but all kinds of kudos to Steve these days. That's all you see on there. Just as recently as, I want the council to know, just as recently as the 7th, the 7th, we have people actually calling in to the 1-800 number just to give kudos to Steve. We have one on the 7th that said Steve Horning cares about our city and does so much, and he deserves a raise, which I don't disagree, but that's not my call.
All right, Steve.
Before we get to the extension talk, I want to just talk a little bit about the state of our industry, not just Republic Services. As everybody knows, just the simple cost of doing business has drastically increased over the last year and a half, right? The items that are directly reflect us are drivers, which cost some money to have good drivers, right? Steel, hydraulics, freight, and the residential carts, which mostly pertains to Shepherdsville. We know we have commercial containers out there as well. The good drivers don't come cheap. There's not many that are doing it right now, and the ones that are, they're requiring certain things, right? And when you have big companies in your own backyard, such as UPS offering certain things, you have to step up if you want to keep those drivers, right? Obviously, our trucks are comprised mostly of steel, which we all know the cost of steel has dramatically gone up. What I like to use as a great example is a commercial container. 2-3 years ago, an 8-yard dumpster, which is what you would see at Thornton's, behind a restaurant, you know, behind Cattleman's or something, about $650 for a large company like us to purchase. They are now pushing $1,400.
Whoa.
So you tack on also the cost of freight, which is almost doubled as well. It is It's very costly right now. I didn't have this number until today. I didn't know they had gone up that much. The residential carts have gone up about 30%. A load from January of 2020 was $40 and some change. Our last load was almost $55. So we're talking about 32, 33% increase in that. Where we're also at, as far as, like I said, it's just the industry, it's not Republic Services, being as transparent as I possibly can. I've personally been involved in 4 bids in the last 3 months. City of Taylorsville, which isn't obviously quite as big as this, City of Irvington, Hardin County, which is about 16,000 homes, 18,000 homes, and then the City of Bowling Green. Bowling Green is 25,000 homes. The lowest bid, which was us, we were lowest bid in all of them so far that we know of. We don't have the outcome of Bowling Green yet. The other 3, we were the lowest, and that ranged anywhere from $13.75 a month all the way up to mid-20s. So that's where we're at. We all know what the contract states. You know, if we agree, we can do 2 6-month extensions. As most of you probably know or may not know, Kentucky statute allows you to stay with somebody no longer than 20 years of vendor. My first ask is there any option to go with a whole nother 4-year term? Is that something the council is open to? Based on where we're at, because if we go out to bid, I don't know where Shepherdsville will be at. I don't know if anybody will be able to get the material in. We were the only bidder. There was a half a bidder. They didn't bid on the whole thing recently. That we were the only ones that had the material. We were the only ones that had the capital. Nobody could get it in time. So that is my first ask. If the council will be open to another 4-year term. We get to keep Steve on board. My goal, and I gotta have his bosses, my goal is I want Steve to do the whole city. Right now, he only has about 70, 75%. But that is what I would like to do.
And he's only doing residential, right?
He only does residential. We only have one other driver that does commercial. And then the other residential driver's only out here Tuesday, Wednesday, is that right? Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday. And honestly, I believe that another 4-year term is in the best interest of the city. Not just with the service, but with pricing is always a concern for the citizens. I know it is. Secondly, if the council would like to do the 2 6-month extensions, we would like to do both of them at once, do a 1-year extension with the 4% at the beginning increase. Obviously, it's in the agreement. You know, you still get the franchise fee, same price. We would do that all at once instead of the 2 breakup payments, which is in the contract as well. But other than that, that's where Republic sits and what we recommend.
Okay. What I would suggest is maybe, Tammy, Todd asked about the council go ahead and voting for another 4-year extension. But I figured it'd be a good idea if they do vote for 1 or 2 6 months, then you'll be in a better position to be here. Is that correct?
Yes, and Mayor, I was able to hear what he said, thank goodness. We wouldn't be able to do a 4-year without bidding it again. We can do the 2 6 months, but we can't just do another 4-year.
Okay.
I understand that, Tammy.
Extension.
What is
Yeah.
what is your stance on that? On that, being that the statute allows for
He said
extensions?
being the statute allows for extensions of 20, so do you have any any idea about that?
I'd have to look at the statute.
Okay.
Does he have the statute number? Perhaps, Mayor, I can pull it up real
No,
quick.
but I can find it really quickly for you, Tammy, and I can shoot you an email.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I'm working from home. I'm so sorry.
I understand.
I'm a little
No, I
limited.
totally understand.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm glad you're on.
Okay, so I guess, you know we can go with the 1 or 2 extensions, right? The 6 months, and then, and we can
Right.
look at that also, the 4-year from that KRS, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, we're always looking to extend
Oh,
there.
okay,
I
yeah.
mean, we,
All right, so, okay. So what you're wanting now from the council, action you would like is, consider an extension?
yes,
1 or 2 or both, right?
absolutely.
Okay.
I would like to
Anybody?
make a motion to extend it for the 2 extensions, to go for the year.
Is that for the 2 6-month?
Mhm.
Okay, there's a motion from Deb Huffman to extend it for the 2 6-month terms.
Is
That's
there
for a
any,
year out.
is there any reason why we cannot go ahead and bid that out? Because they are gonna get it, it's not, it doesn't end till April the 30th, correct?
First.
March 30th.
Well,
We got a motion on the table.
we got a motion on the table, let's,
I'll
so is there a
second
second?
that.
Okay, the second
So now we
Deb's
can
motion there?
discuss it, yeah.
Okay, for the 2 6 months?
Yes.
Yeah, but now we can discuss
Okay,
it.
now, yeah.
Now.
Now the discussion is, you said if there's some way you can go ahead and bid it out?
We had discussed that, and Tammy said she didn't seem, Baker seemed to think there wasn't an issue with bidding that, because we have plenty enough time.
Well, you wanna take that up on the next council meeting?
Well, this has been discussed 2 council
Well,
meetings already.
Mayor, if we were gonna bid it, I mean, I think we would do one or the other, would be my advice. Either we do the 2 6-month extensions, or we would bid it, right? I don't think, I mean, we wouldn't do both.
Right.
Okay, so you'll need to bid it, okay. Not
Can we-
as a bid, okay.
Can we do the 2 extensions all at one time, or should they be handled separately as conditions might change?
Yeah, can we do 2 at one time, or do you have to do them separate?
No, we could do 2. I mean, the contract allows for the 2 6-month. There's no reason why we couldn't go on and just do the 2.
Okay, all right, well, there's a first and a second on here, any other questions? Okay, let's, all in favor for extended for the 2 6 months, signal by your hand raise, or say aye. Well, there's 2, okay. All against? 2, oh, okay. There's a 2-2, so I'll break the tie on that, right, Tammy?
Yes.
Okay, I guess I would say go ahead and extend it for the 2 6 months. So I know it's kind of hectic to try to start over again, but I want to, so we'll go ahead. Looks like it's going to be a 3-2 for the 2 6 months extension.
Perfect.
Okay.
Appreciate
All
it.
right. No, go ahead. You got
I
your-
would just like to say the reason I voted no was I think it should have been handled 2 separate instances. That's,
Okay. Is that why?
I don't have a problem with the extension.
Uh-huh.
I think we should have dealt with each period separately. So
Okay.
that was just my reasoning.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Looks like there's 2 6 months extensions.
All right.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, council.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, now, new business B, it's, Ms. Baker's gonna read the proclamation.
Old business.
Is it old? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you ready, Tammy?
Right, the school board.
Yes. Proclamation 22-01, honoring the members of the Bullitt County Board of Education during School Board Recognition Month, January 2022. Whereas our community values a quality education as a vital step along the pathway to success for our children, and whereas Debbie Atherton, Daryl Coleman, Linda Belcher, Juanita Nita Neal, and Lisa Hodges contribute greatly to this community through their service on the Bullitt County Board of Education, and whereas these decision makers are responsible for maintaining strong, effective budgetary oversight, high standards for employment, and a safe, well-managed set of school facilities, and whereas these board members are serving our community with integrity, honor, and a commitment to our children's futures, and whereas January 2022 marks Kentucky's observation of their contributions through School Board Recognition Month. Therefore, I, Curtis Hockenberry, Mayor of Shepherdsville, do hereby proclaim the month of January 2022 throughout this community as School Board Recognition Month, and urge all citizens to honor Debbie Atherton, Daryl Coleman, Linda Belcher, Juanita Nita Neal, and Lisa Hodges for their service.
Thank you so much. Is any of the members here in the audience today? Okay, thank you. This is one of many cities across the nation that's done this, so thank me and the council, thank you for being a part of this. Okay, next would be I might have a different agenda, but it says old business here.
Oh, that's right.
You got that? Okay. All right. This will be, City Attorney Tammy Baker, who has second reading of ordinance 021036.
Ordinance number 021-036.
Hold on just a second. Mike
sorry.
has a question. Yes, sir, go
Sorry.
ahead.
I think it was mentioned before that there was, a problem with this, that another entity had a problem with this closure. Has that been ironed out and it's agreeable with all the parties, Tammy?
No, Mike, unfortunately. So that was Gary Magruder, and he actually, I had sent him, when he reached out the first time, I sent him all of our documents, including the plat that showed the section that was going to be closed. His surveyor, Bill Harn, had reached out to me to get all the same documents, so I sent them to him as well. Mr. Magruder actually called my office today, and I was not in the office, but he talked to my assistant and told her that he could not be at our meeting tonight, but that he does object to the closure, and he intends to file litigation if this portion of this road is closed. He didn't say litigation against whom, but that's what he told my assistant. So no, that has not been resolved. And I believe the attorney for the folks wanting it to be closed is present tonight. I don't know if he can shed any further light on that, but no, to my knowledge, nothing has been settled in that regard.
Okay, now he's here now. We're gonna let him come up to the,
Okay.
but, no, go ahead, Mike, you have any more?
I was just wondering if Tammy felt that there could be a decision made
Right.
before the next meeting
Okay,
on this, so that we could either approve
Okay,
it as it is or be amended.
all right, okay, if you would give your name, please, and, sir,
Sure.
and free to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name is Cliff Ashburner.
Cliff Ashby.
I'm a lawyer with Dinsmore and Shoal. We represent Louisville Velocity LLC. I have some materials that I can pass out to you that might help our discussion tonight, and it looks like you need
Sure, you
5
can
or
vote, yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Six,
6, yeah.
or five, well, do you want seven? Sorry,
Start there.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So, members of the council, you heard this case back in December, voted through the first reading. The short version of this is Buffalo Run Road, portions of Buffalo Run Road were actually closed in 2016 by Mr. Magruder. So Buffalo Run Road ceased to be a through road, if you will, 5 or 6 years ago. Alpha Way, of course, was constructed and is now kind of the main north-south road to the east of I-65 in that area. This closure will allow, and if you'll, the first attachment you have there is the closure plat, which shows you that the area to be closed, it's not in the crosshatched. The crosshatched is what has already been closed. In this area, it's the area that's got the lines through it. So it's a small piece of right-of-way. That right-of-way is 60 feet wide. It does not have a cul-de-sac at the end, and it is completely within property owned by our client. So as far as its use as public transportation infrastructure, it's pretty useless because it doesn't go anywhere, and there's no way to turn around when you get to the end. If you'll look at this longer page, you'll see a concept development plan for that area, and I would point your attention to, if you hold the sheet this way so you can read the writing. It's this area here, closest to the legend. You'll see the building 3 that is proposed to be constructed on the property where the right-of-way is going to be closed. And you'll also notice a newly constructed cul-de-sac in that area. Our client's plan is to close what I described earlier as kind of the useless extra right-of-way and replace it at the north end of its property with a cul-de-sac that will be large enough for trucks to turn around in to get back up to, get back north. You know, as far as Mr. Magruder's objections, I really don't know what they are, and he's not here, I don't think, tonight to give voice to them. But I think as a matter of public policy, you all have the ability now to make the decision. Would you prefer to have the right-of-way that really doesn't go anywhere, or would you prefer to get rid of that and have the cul-de-sac built? Understanding, as I said before, that portions of Buffalo Run Road just to the south of this are already closed and have been closed for many years, and actually that, as I said before, those applications were sponsored by Mr. Magruder when he was the owner of the property. So, I'm happy to take any questions if you have them.
Okay, any questions from the council?
Oh, my point of view is I'd like to hear both sides, if there's contention in this, rather than just proceeding, you know, and make a decision that may ultimately just end up in court. And I don't know if there's legal action taken, can the decision to close it, if that's what we decide, if the decision to close it is made, can it be closed? Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be closed while there's still a legal action, would there, Tammy?
Can you hear Mike?
Sorry, I was muted. Mayor, I didn't hear everything that
Okay.
Mike just said.
If we vote to close this tonight, then there's going to be legal action, according to what you've been informed.
Right.
And so that'll pretty much put a stop to anything being done until that's decided, won't it?
I would imagine so, if there is litigation filed. But,
Okay.
you know, based on what Mr. Ashburner just said and what the documents show, I would tend to agree with him. We're talking about a little piece of the right-of-way that connects to a road that's already closed, so it's not a through right-of-way anymore. I'm having trouble understanding what the argument is as well from Mr. Magruder.
Yeah, I think that, of course, you know, our firm picked up this case between the first meeting and tonight. But in my review of the record, everything's been done properly to bring this before you. As I said before, our client intends to build the cul-de-sac and dedicate that cul-de-sac to the public, which would actually create a useful piece of infrastructure in that area. And, you know, if Mr. Magruder wants to file litigation, you know, I assume he knows where the courthouse is, and he's got the ability to do that. I have no idea what his claim would be, whether it would be an appeal of this action or whether it would be something else.
Is it just because one corner of his property touches this property?
It could be, but again, the portion of the road to be closed is entirely within
It's
our client's property.
entirely on your property, your
Yeah.
client's property. Yeah, that's what Tammy Megre said. Okay. So, so it may be, I'm just saying, it may be litigation between your client and Mr. Magruder, not the city involved. And that's what Tammy says also.
That's a possibility.
Right, and either way, I can't imagine a scenario where the city has any kind of monetary liability if something were to happen, we were to lose some kind of lawsuit, then okay, maybe the road's not closed. But I mean, we've received a request from the landowners who adjoin the road. We're fully within our rights to close it, but of course, it's a matter of whether the council wants to do it, and of course, you don't have to.
Right, it's up to them, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, y'all wanna proceed with the reading? Kenny, what do you think? Lisa?
Kinda feel like Mike, that we should hear both sides.
Yeah.
I feel like Mike too.
Well, and
Okay.
I know I mentioned that, but you know, if we vote not to close it, it goes one way, and I'm thinking they may be upset. And if
So-
we vote to close it, it don't make any difference whether we've heard from the opposing side already or not, there'll probably be an action there,
So can we just table
I
this?
think it's gonna
Table it to
tie.
next
And then
meeting.
ask Mr. Magruder
Yeah.
to attend?
I'd like to,
Next meeting?
I'd like to
That's what I
find
think.
out, but I think we should probably have enough information to vote by the next meeting, I would think.
Yeah.
May I add just one thing?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
You know, this case got kicked from the last meeting because Mr. Magruder said he was upset and was going to show up to the meeting and delay the meeting.
We're here tonight. He's known this meeting was coming for a month or more.
That's true.
My client sent me, I know Mr. Magruder has counsel, and he could have sent that counsel here.
Yes.
So
That's
I
true.
think it is sort of extraordinary that somebody saying he's upset, who's a local, who's got the ability to be here and not even showing up, would cause delay. I understand if the council's pleasure is to give him another opportunity, that's certainly within your rights, but I would hope that at some point you would recognize he knows how to get here too, and he has the opportunity to come speak his mind. And if he's not here, then he must not be objecting that hard.
Another scenario is we had an incident like this with Luann Moore came, remember, and we closed a roadway that was just like this on 44 West, remember that? And the same thing with Walt Schover's property there. This is a scenario like that. Isn't that right, Tammy? You recall that with closing the road there, and Luann Moore was present, her property?
Mayor, are you asking me or the other Tammy? I don't, was that before me? I don't recall that.
Okay. That's the road we closed on 44 West. Remember, it really never was a road like this. Never was.
Oh,
taken
Sherry
into city.
Martin?
Yeah.
For Sherry Martin?
Sherry Martin, yeah, Sherry Martin, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is exactly, it's very much like that, yeah.
Okay. All right, what's the council's views?
I say he's right. I mean, he's had 2 chances to show up, and he hasn't shown up at either
Yeah.
one.
Well,
So I say let's just,
You wanna make a motion to read it, or?
I make a motion that we read it.
Well, Mayor, we really don't need a motion. It's on for second reading.
Okay.
If that's the pleasure, I could just go in and read it.
Okay,
I'd say, yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead and
Okay.
read it.
Okay.
We'll follow along.
Ordinance number 021-036, an ordinance providing for the closure pursuant to KRS 82.405 of a right-of-way described herein and depicted on the right-of-way closure plat attached hereto, consent being obtained from all adjoining landowners, said right-of-way being a section of Buffalo Run Road. Whereas the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville has determined it to be in the best interest of the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens to close the right-of-way herein described, and whereas the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville has obtained consent from all adjoining landowners to the right-of-way for its closure, now therefore be it ordained by the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, Section 1, the right-of-way described in the attached Exhibit A and incorporated herein by reference as if set out in full is hereby closed due to the consent of the adjoining landowners and the determination by the City Council that the right-of-way serves no purpose. Section 2. In support of its determination, the City Council makes the following findings of fact. A. All property owners in or abutting the public way or portion thereof to be closed have been identified. B. Written notice of the proposed closing was given to all property owners in or abutting the public way or portion thereof being closed. And C. All property owners in or abutting the public way or portion thereof being closed have given their written notarized consent to the closing, and copies of the consent are attached hereto. Section 3. This ordinance shall take effect upon publication. Section 4. Should any section, clause, line, paragraph, or part of this ordinance be held unconstitutional or invalid for any reason, the same shall not affect the remainder of this ordinance. Section 5. Parts of any ordinances in conflict with this ordinance or any part of this ordinance are hereby repealed. Given first reading at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, on the 13th day of December 2021. Given second reading at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, on the 10th day of January 2022.
Thank you. Okay. We need action on this, second reading, so entertain a motion.
I make a motion we,
She's already made it.
She made
She's
it.
already got the motion.
Okay, it's got the motion to accept. Okay, second.
Stacy did.
Stacy got a second.
Can you stay?
No, I didn't second.
I'll second it then.
Mike seconded, okay. First is Deb and Mike second, okay. All in favor on this ordinance? Okay, Lisa, Deb, and Mike, okay. Those opposed? Okay, Stacy and Kenny. Okay, it passes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Council. Next, we have B. Tammy Baker reading, second reading of Summer Ordinance 021037, amending.
Yeah, Mayor, is my memory on this one correct, that this ordinance was tabled the last time it was written? If it was tabled, we would need a motion to bring it off the table.
Okay. Yes, it was, yeah.
If I can ask a question
Yes,
prior
Mike.
to that.
Yes.
Has anybody got any financials since we were here last?
Nothing.
I make a motion to leave it on the table.
I second that motion.
Okay. Motion by Mike, leave it on the table. Second by Lisa, leave it on the table. All in favor? 5, leave it on the table. Okay, good. All right, next, moving on to C,
Do you,
second reading of,
Do you have any idea when we're gonna receive our financials?
Tim, make a note of that, we'll ask her.
What is,
Uh,
I'm
read
sorry.
financials.
When we're gonna get any of our financials?
I will ask her and let you know tomorrow.
All right, so next, second reading of ordinance 021-038.
Ordinance number 021-038, in summary, an ordinance amending the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky annual budget by line item for the fiscal year July 1, 2021 through June 30, 2022 by estimating the revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of city government. Section 1 sets forth a line item budget for all departments of the City of Shepherdsville with the exception of the sewer department, which is addressed by separate ordinance. The annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021 and ending June 30, 2022 is summarized herein by category as follows.
Hey, Tammy, stop right there just a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold your spot, yeah. Lisa?
Tammy, I don't want you to have to read all of this. I'd like to make a motion to table this for the next, until we get financials as well.
This was
I mean,
for,
how do
Chief,
we-
was this for your,
How do we
your,
change?
this was for your, item you asked, right?
Not just his.
Lane, I apologize.
Oh, okay, so you wanna table
This is no different than what we just passed to table.
I wasn't sure what they were reading. Actually, 2 of those are grants that we're waiting on for that to be put into the budget so that we can
Yeah, you want to
get the
move to
project
some,
done
We wanna get the
and have the money
project
brought in from FEMA,
yeah, and that's what that amendment
reimbursed to
was
the
there.
city. And the other one is a grant that we've already received, $65,000 for a building out of Station 2 from the state.
That's the only change in this.
So it's
Yes.
just for your department only?
For Lane's
Those,
department.
For
those
those
two,
grants.
those 2 projects, one's 60,000 something, and the other one's, 65,000.
Yeah.
Those are both grants. One we've received, the other one, we have to pay the money out, and then we receive the money back.
So does the council want Tammy Richmond to make a note on here that that is the ones that we're reading for and the changes we
So-
will approve in here for this
So
reading?
what is the ones with Public Works that's got the change? There's actually in the administrative section and the Public Works section. Is there anybody here to discuss that?
Let me see.
Back sheet myself.
Yeah, say it on the back sheet there.
Just they just got more revenue or something, because if you see the revenue went up.
Public Works is a capital expense, no budget dollar. She explained it on this last sheet I gave you guys. It's attached to the budget.
The very last one, yeah. Yeah, it says need to modify.
Does Timmy need to read this and then we go into discussion on it, or can there be discussion first?
Read it and then, have a first and a second, then discussion. Well, hang on a second, Tammy.
This fire stuff's on,
That's all revenue, so. But I will have some questions down here.
Okay, y'all wanna go ahead and read it? Or what does the council desire?
Well, if she has to read it before we can discuss it.
Or continue.
Okay, go ahead and read it,
Yes,
Tammy, and then
continue.
we'll,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Estimated revenues, miscellaneous revenue was, to the general fund, was $10,040. That's amended to $248,255. Total estimated revenues, general fund was $17,088,129.48. That is amended to $17,326,344.48. Total resources available for appropriation, general fund was $21,909,198.13. That's amended to $22,147,413.13. Appropriations administration, total department operating expenses was $426,600. That's amended to $431,700. Total contractor fees and services was $401,400, amended to $423,900. Total capital expenses was $3,485,000. That's amended to $3,565,000. Total administrative was $5,716,601.36. That's amended to $5,824,201.36. Fire department, total capital expenses was $555,000. That's amended to $680,683. Total fire department was $6,137,963.31. That's amended to $6,263,646.31. Public works, total capital expense was $1,365,000, amended to $1,369,932. Total public works was $2,922,074.01. That's amended to $2,927,006.01. Total appropriations from the general fund was $20,839,585.55. That's amended to $21,077,800.55. Section 2 sets forth effective upon publication, retroactive to July 1, 2021. Section 3 sets forth publication requirement. Section 4 sets forth repealer. Section 5 sets forth severability. Given first reading by summary at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, on the 20th day of December 2021. Given second reading by summary at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, on the 10th day of January 2022.
Thank you. All right, motion to, let's see, motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Okay.
I thought we made a motion to table it.
Nobody seconded.
No.
Nobody seconded it?
I'll make the second. The only reason I'm gonna make the
So you
second.
talk
is
about
most
it.
of those revenue
Have discussion.
coming in.
Well, we'll talk about it. So there's a second by Lisa, Deb, and a second by, okay, go ahead, Lisa. What'd you say?
I'll go ahead, cause most of it that was coming in
Most of
was
it's a revenue coming in.
and
Right.
it was Lane's grants, and we had already discussed that and told Lane that we would approve that, so I'm happy with that. But, you know, we do need to get our financials.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's 7 months overdue.
Yeah,
so we
absolutely.
receive it financial.
Okay, there's a first and a second, any other questions?
I know that all the first part there is revenue.
Right. I think the only,
What was the,
only change what Lane mentioned.
can somebody explain that? What is the miscellaneous prior year expense reimbursement?
What was it? That came in as an overpayment from the,
I think that's what Tanya said. the
yeah,
last
Tommy
meeting.
said, Tanya said from the federal treasury or something like that, or it came out of nowhere, where the city had overpaid or something, so. Mike, what was it? Is it on here,
Well,
175?
that particular one is $92,234.
Okay, the 92, yeah.
The
But-
92,000 is, ARP money. The second, they
This,
had some left over, so they offered us another go at it, and they gave us $92,234.
so in addition to the roughly 1.6 million
Yeah,
that we've
yes,
got,
sir.
they gave us another,
That's the second go around, yeah.
okay, I didn't, so.
So basically, expenses is on the fire side, both at the bottom and miscellaneous, it'd be 7650. And it'd be fire exhaust and multipurpose grant. Okay. Is that correct, Lane? Okay.
So then they had okay, so then we had, either they had billed us too much or we had overpaid workman's comp. Based on our history, they
Yeah.
refunded
When they did the
20,000.
workers' comp audit, like they do
Yeah.
every
Right.
year, they found that they owed us money.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, so then the other two revenue are Lane's grants.
Yes, sir, Lane's
Fire
grants,
department.
that will go back in there once they come in. We have to pay them up front and then get the grant, yeah.
So the next
Okay.
section down where they got the key fob, says 80 plus 80. Are they just asking for a total of 80 or is it 160?
Can't remember.
I
Oh,
thought.
it looks like Darren's here, yeah.
It's $154,000 and some change, I believe that's already been approved.
Okay, yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, okay.
Of course, we kinda got this with the ARP money that was sent out in an email, and that's another 100,000.
Yeah.
200. On that one, it's suggested
Yeah, right there.
key fob, 254,685, so,
Which I thought we'd already met that.
well, that's about,
You already
I
did.
don't know what's going on there, but it's
we don't either.
It's $154,000 and some change, we have a signed contract with
Right.
them now. That's what it is.
So we're not gonna put it in this amount that she put.
That was just a paper of suggestions of how to spend the ARP money, is all that was.
That was just a
Well, I
suggestion.
know, but when we've already got it, like he said, why should it even be included in here?
And probably was put in there before we approved it, I would assume that.
Yeah. Okay, well, we got a first and a second.
Hold on a second. Oh, I still got some questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Sorry.
Contractor fees, the 22.5 for the audit. Is that to pay for the last audit?
Yes.
Was that over and above what we had budgeted?
I'm thinking so. I'm not positive, but I think so.
This addition.
I can't remember right off the top of my head, but anybody know what we had budgeted?
Wasn't it like 30,000?
I can
Something like
see it
30.
costing more though. It took them a year.
Yeah.
Well, it was so messed up.
You know me, I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, my whole idea of a line item budget is that we get some notification before we go over. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that due to the circumstances that were involved, that we would not have gone over. We might very well have had to spend every penny of that, or maybe more, on the circumstances. But I kinda get frustrated when it comes down to this and said, here, we need to approve this, cause we basically already spent it.
Well, and you're not getting your financials, that's my
Well,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but we need those financials, that's what we're here for. That's what we're sitting on this committee for.
Absolutely.
So the PVA has billed us basically $5,100 more than what was budgeted,
Correct.
which that's probably, if I had to guess, it's a flat rate for the number of audits or whatever they do. So,
I'm not sure
Yeah.
how PVA basis they're
Yeah, I don't know,
billing.
but it had went up in years and it finally did.
It was 45, but it was 51 that.
and if they're evaluating greater numbers of
Right.
properties,
More
that's gonna go too. I
Oh.
mean, I can understand that, but. So what was the $4,900? We didn't budget, apparently there was nothing in the budget for engineering expense for a public works capital project, capital expense.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought mine says Adam Shepherd.
Yeah,
It does.
725001 Adam Shepherd Parkway,
Was that for the surveying that they recently
whatever it
did
was.
for the roundabout?
Pardon?
Was mistaking of the survey
Yeah, it could
they
be it.
recently did.
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
That should have been in that project already.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've already,
I thought, yeah, cause I thought that was already done in the previous.
but they were out there probably.
They were just
Probably
out there
when
a
they
while.
split up the
Yeah.
engineering costs,
Probably October, they was out there shooting the whole
they
thing
didn't,
for the survey.
include admin in the, cut out, break out.
Yeah.
So, cause you know, like when we get a bill and all 5 of our departments are included, we split the bill into 5 different pieces. This may have been what happened here. An engineering bill came in that city should have paid $45.32 on, or $49, whatever, and we didn't, so she added it and we paid it. That's all I can come up with there.
Well, I would ask then if it's a road project. That's,
Engineering, I don't, well,
if it's for a road project, that's figured in Public Works as a capital expense. Why would admin have any
and
expense in
municipal
it?
aid,
Shouldn't.
Yeah.
I'll find out what that is
Yeah.
anymore.
Okay.
All right.
Multi-lane, multi-purpose building grant pre-expense.
Multi-purpose.
65,000 for I presume purpose, building, grant,
Multi-purple building.
Well,
pre-expense,
what that is, at the training facility at Station 2,
okay?
basically, we're gonna build a pole barn, to store straw, hay, tractor, things, props for the training facility. And we got a grant to build the building from the state, so that's the 65,000. We've already received the money for the grant. Now we're
Okay.
just getting ready to try to figure out how to go about bidding it out.
Oh, okay, so
And getting people
I
to bid on
overlooked
it.
that, that's 65,000 you got in the revenue side, now you're gonna spend it.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this, since we don't know what the other things are for that Mike's asked, can we just pass lanes? Cause I mean, we don't know what this is, right?
To do that, we would have to do a separate reading, changing that, because we read it as is, but you pass it as it's read tonight or not pass it.
Yeah.
We would have to read it separately again to do that,
Okay.
which we can do, but we wouldn't be able to do that tonight.
Could we do a special meeting this week?
Well, right now, there's a first and a second, so we'll have to vote.
Well, we could withdraw it.
I mean, yeah, but there's a first. Second.
Yeah, the second and first could withdraw
Yeah,
there.
you can withdraw, yeah, you can withdraw it, absolutely, do that.
The only thing that I'm not happy with is the engineering expense.
Yeah.
But
I'll
Tammy
find out what
explained
that is tomorrow, I don't,
So, I guess we could just table this until, I had the motion to table it, so if somebody wants to get a
Well,
second, fine.
we have to take out.
So Mayor, we would need to withdraw the second, then withdraw the motion, then you could do a new motion to table, if that's what the council wants to do.
I withdraw my
Do you
first,
need it?
It'd be fine.
Okay.
and I'm not for sure
Yeah,
get a second.
You had a
Deb.
second,
Deb made,
I had to set the, okay.
yeah.
yeah.
I withdraw mine.
I withdraw mine.
First and the second.
You withdraw yours?
Yeah, until we
Then
figure
Deb's
this
gonna
out.
withdraw
Sorry,
hers, okay.
That'll be
I
fine.
mean, we gotta know what we're
I don't,
voting on here.
I mean, if we wanna do a special meeting, I
I
don't
can do
mind, I
that.
can
Yeah.
do that.
If we just figure out,
Yeah, if we find out what that cost is.
Yeah, it's fine. The one we already received the money, the other one we're just waiting to.
So it won't hold
Have
you
the
up,
money there.
it won't hold you up to, if you had to wait for the next meeting or whatever.
When's the next meeting?
2
Uh,
weeks.
2 weeks? No, we'll be fine.
24,
You'll be fine? Okay.
24.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
All right, so
Okay.
so you made a motion to
Somebody
table
made
it till
a motion to
24?
table.
Yeah,
Till the next,
Sorry.
till the next business, okay.
Thank you.
Second, Deb?
second.
Okay, so put the motion down, Lisa, to table till the next business meeting.
Lisa made the
Deb second.
motion.
Yeah,
Just
and then
reverse
Deb
it.
seconded.
Yeah.
Now, all in favor to table it for the next one? Okay, 5 hands are up. All right, well, thank you, council. Thank you, Lane. All right, so next, we'll go to sign-in speakers. Terry Cook, come on up, sir.
ladies and gentlemen of the council and of Shepherdsville. How you guys doing today?
Good.
What I wanted to do real quickly is just give you an update of Mark 12 Ministries, and then also talk to you briefly about the American Rescue Act Plan monies. So first, I wanted to let you know that all 4 of our programs, White Flag Shelter, Room in the Inn, the Pathway Home, and King's Boxes are in complete operation. As of November 1st, Mark 12 took on Room in the Inn. Heart of My City is dissolving as an organization, and when a nonprofit dissolves, it has to donate its resources to another nonprofit. And so Pam and I work closely in continuing this program. We have made quite a few changes to the Room and Inn program to ensure its longevity and success. And we want to continue moving forward with that program with the current churches and participants. We do have 5 participants in that program right now who are progressing successfully. Also, just kind of to mention as we get into this ARP stuff is, first and foremost, Mark 12 is a gold star nonprofit, meaning our financials are available right now at this moment. So you'll never have any questions about our financials. And so another thing is we had the kids from Bold Central talk about the park, which I think is awesome. We also had people talking about trash can prices going up. That all leads to what I'm talking about here. One, we want to make the park safe, right? How we do that is by having an organization like mine, Mark 12, who is helping the homeless get out of the park, get out of under the viaducts, get out of the streets, and get into programming that is going to help them either be successful, help them get into addiction treatment, or help them get to an area or a county that is going to offer the type of services that they want and desire. So if they don't want to progress, then we can take them to Louisville, where they can stay in a shelter and live in that environment if they so hope to. And so the first thing I wanted to kind of ask you guys is, when someone who lives in eastern Kentucky is released from the Bullitt County Detention Center and there's no one to pick them up, do you know where they go? They go downtown Shepherdsville, and then they sleep in the park. And no one knows they're there, and no one knows why they're there. Did you guys realize that this year that we were able to really make relationships with over 20 violent offenders and sex offenders that had been released in our county that were not from our county or from Shepherdsville? And by making relationships with them, we were able to get them back to their homes in other parts of the state, or into facilities that would be better suited to help them in their particular endeavors. See, there's not a safeguard for Shepherdsville or for Bullitt County for that. It's great that we have the detention center here, but we even have individuals that have been brought that are from out of state that have gotten arrested because they've done something here in Kentucky, and they end up in our detention center. So it's been this revealing that we continue to learn more as we do this ministry, that we have a lot of blind spots in our public safety in our city as well as our county. And so that's where I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about where you're at with the American Rescue Plan Act money. And this is money that I came to you guys and talked about last fall. And if I could bring this up real quick. So what I've done here is, this is from treasury.gov website. It was released May 10th of 2021. And what this is the guidelines for how this ARP money can be used. So what I did real quickly is I just went through this document and I highlighted the resources that we provide to the city and to the county as Mark 12 ministry. So things like housing, things like food, things like helping with financial insecurity, substance misuse and treatment, behavioral health services, crisis intervention, outreach, addressing those experiencing homelessness, addressing social, emotional, mental, and health needs, and also Shepherdsville and the rest of the southern part of our county lays right in the what they call a high, from the last census, qualified census tract. And those are families that are living in that qualified census tract. And what that is people who are living in poverty. On the surface, Bullitt County looks like a very growing and rich county. The problem is if you took a crane and you grabbed Mount Washington, which is the fastest growing city in the entire state, and you pulled it out, all of a sudden Bullitt County becomes one of the most poor counties in the state. And so we deal with a lot of issues in our city and as well as the entire county. And so my question is, the ARPA money that you guys got first in this summer, the second payment of $1.6 million you'll receive this coming summer. I was wondering when you guys would be starting taking bids or grant, open discussions about how that money is going to be spent to the public, so that it can be best focused on things like that I highlighted. Certainly I understand infrastructure and public works and things like that are in there, but the big purpose of this ARPA money, if you read the legislation, and also I've had the privilege to sit on a lot of conference call with the Homeless Coalition, was to infuse cities and counties with monies to help people, right? Help the individuals who got hit worse by this coronavirus and this COVID that we're living in. We recently got a grant because we are helping the homeless in our county get vaccinated. We have one of the lowest vaccination rates in the entire state, and among the homeless, we are the lowest. And so we've got some grant money that we are transporting the homeless in our county to get vaccinated, to get tested, and also to educate those about the COVID virus. And so we're doing our best and to operate within the expenditures and the monies that we receive from churches and from individuals and organizations. And so I'm not asking for operational money to do anything, but what we're still looking for is a facility. We're looking for a facility that we could better serve not only the county, but more importantly, Shepherdsville. So that, we are based right here in Shepherdsville. We serve this community probably more so, well, I know more so than any part of the county, even though we do our best to serve the entire county, but we really need a facility. And so I was just wondering when you guys were going to kind of start having those conversations. From what I understand, and I stood corrected to information I had given earlier, all monies need to be earmarked by December 1st, 2024. If they're not earmarked, Uncle Sam is going to take those monies back. And we're already at a point where the second payment is just around the corner and monies are not earmarked. So my concern is I would hate for us to take $3.6 million and not walk across the street and use it for the betterment of our community. And I think, as I've highlighted, the services that we offer at Mark 12 really help the community of Shepherdsville.
Thank you, Perry.
Yeah.
Any questions for Perry?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you mentioned a date of December 31st, 2020, or excuse me, 24.
Yes, sir.
Somebody I was speaking with a few days ago mentioned a date of September 30th of 23, which
Yeah.
is more than a year prior to that.
24.
It's 24.
24?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's yeah, so it's a year prior. So there was an extension
Okay.
that I found this evening as I was going through. That extension was passed through this fall through Congress. Originally, it was all the funds had to be earmarked by fiscal year 24, and now they've extended that for 12 months. But if those monies are not earmarked by December 1st, 2024, those monies will be recouped by the government. Now, here we are, January of 22. We've kind of sat on $1.6 million for 6 months, and I understand the city is still trying to get financials. And this is not an indictment to Shepherdsville. I'm going to every single city and talking about this. Louisville, Metro, and the cities in Louisville are well on their way in receiving grant applications, spending those monies, moving along with big projects. Mark 12 was actually approached to put in submit an offer to run one of their new homeless centers in Louisville. You guys may have seen it on the news where Louisville Metro had bought a piece of property in the West End that had a building, and I think it was like 4 acres that they're going to make a safe zone for camps for people to set up these tents. We refused that offer because we are focused on Bullitt County and the things that are going on here. We love this county. We love the residents of this county, and we're not concerned about Jefferson County. But we continue to see mental health as a huge issue. 7 counties has struggled to deal with our mental health issues. Addiction, again, a huge issue. We have taken over 40 individuals this year to recovery centers, Isaiah House, Awake Ministry in Shelbyville, the Recenter downtown. With partnership with Volunteers of America, we've helped rehouse 44 individuals and families this year with the partnership of them. You guys may have seen like the Clark family, the Val Victorian from Mount Washington, Bullitt East. She was living in a van with her family, and I'm happy to say that in December they were able to get an apartment, and they got to celebrate Christmas at a home and not in a van. And that's just part of the work that we continue to do in our county.
Thank you, Perry.
Yeah, any other questions? Or any thoughts on when you guys are gonna start talking about the Rescue Act money?
I think they're putting a survey on the website, aren't they, to get ideas from the community?
That's what the plan is.
I'll have it.
Yeah.
And then department heads are gonna start sending me lists of what they're kinda looking towards.
Like a wish list. Yeah.
And I know in the email, when I looked at that, there were some categories here and some things that we could do. And I was going to ask this evening, ask Tanya if she was here for something like this, that gave us a listing of everything we can use it for. And then, because it's not all here, that's
Well, I got a
okay.
summary today.
Right, this is.
Yeah, there was another
pardon?
summary I sent out on y'all today from Kelsey.
That I can,
Oh, okay, but,
If you
all
wanna
right.
read on
the
there.
original report's like 473
Yeah, they
pages.
condensed it down to how many?
But the summary thing is down to like 43.
Yeah.
I pulled it off the internet today, or off the KLC website today. So,
And the biggest thing that you run into this is there has to be reporting, obviously. And so the longer it takes to start using those funds, if the reporting is not accurate and does not fit what those specific things are, then the city could be liable for those funds. And then, again, I've been blessed to go through the grant writing process with the Homeless Coalition to make sure that the grants and the things that we request meet the federal government guidelines, which are very stringent, as you can imagine. So,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you, Barry.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, Lane, you have anything? Major, got anything? Okay. All right, Lisa, you wanna start?
Beginning of the year, CSX, anything we have for railroad crossing?
Oh, I wished. Now that's,
Really
that is
So
serious.
we asked for another letter to be sent to CSX for the beginning of the year.
Tammy, Lisa wanted to know if you can possible send another letter to CSX about the railroad. CES.
Sure, absolutely.
And them too, yeah. Okay, she said absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tammy.
She said, thank you.
And that's all I
No
have.
problem.
Okay, Kenny? Okay, Deb?
I'm good.
Okay,
Yeah, fine.
Stacy?
I want to thank the Public Works Department and the police and any fire runs y'all did during the snow. The roads were cleared off really good for Public Works. They did a great job. And then I want to ask about, Tanya's not here for me to ask, but maybe the
We'll
council.
pass it on.
Yeah.
What you got?
The $100,000 that we put aside in the budget for the raises from the assessment and the sewer department, have we done anything with it? Is it still there, that $100,000? Remember how we've all put that in the budget? Do y'all remember that?
I remember.
To pay out, to
I
give
know,
them
but
raises, yeah.
I'm wanting to know if it's, does
so
anybody
the
recall?
$100,000 assessment in the budget, has it been?
We added it to the sewer department, and I wanna know have we used it?
I'll ask tomorrow.
Okay.
I mean, it might be a good idea for Tanya to be here.
Yeah, we'll get her next time. Put that on.
I don't have anything else.
Okay, Mike, you have anything?
I had a list of things, most of it, a lot of the questions I had to do with Tanya's email of the categories here and suggestions of funds to be allocated to that.
Uh-huh.
So I imagine we'll be talking about that later, once we get a total listing of what it can be used for.
Right, then the department heads wish list too.
And we get some more suggestions on that.
Uh-huh.
Does anybody know, where did the suggestions come from for this, do you know?
Tanya.
Tanya?
Yes,
Just
yes, sir.
Tanya?
Tanya got them, yeah.
Tanya,
Okay.
Could council be a part of that with the department
send me
heads?
some ideas.
Oh, yeah,
Send me
please
some
send us some
suggestions.
ideas and,
Well, I got
yeah.
some ideas, but they ain't on that list.
No,
Well, send
I
them
don't-
anyway.
I don't expect
Send
them
them-
to be on that list.
Send them, I mean, as long as they're
I'm just
approved.
saying, but the department heads are
Okay,
getting
so
together.
get a
They're gonna
list
start-
together of what we want.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
put it on a piece of paper. We'll
Yeah.
have to,
That's gonna
like
go
you
out to
said,
the
we're gonna have to
citizens as well.
discuss it and decide. Pardon me?
That's gonna go out to the citizens as well as with that.
There's a survey.
Yep.
Nikki's made up a survey. I'm not sure when that's gonna be, but I'll find out tomorrow when that's gonna be out or ready to
Trying to put a
go.
survey on the webpage for it. Okay, anything else, Mike?
I've had,
Okay.
we can deal with that then later, I guess. So, I've had some people ask some questions about the park. And I just thought I'd ask, I went back and looked at some of the information I have. Arthur gave us this sometime back. I didn't have a date on it, but it was basically the plan, and I spoke with him, and this was the layout of the master plan, after they'd had the 5 or 6 meetings,
Right.
open meetings,
With the Corps of Engineers. and all
Corps of
that.
Engineers and
Yes, sir.
whoever they designated to make suggestions on this. And I said, and some people asked, I said, when I had talked to them earlier, I said, well, the plan is to do this here and this in this location and everything. But originally the from what we had, the splash pad was to be in the front of the park, up right off Buckman, and appears to be a fairly large dog park walking area back behind the two existing baseball fields, which, I don't know who determined to move the splash pad or why. Some people would just like to know, did we?
Oh, I think it was due to floodplain,
water
water
and-
floodplain.
And public
And
works.
close to the public works building.
Close
being
to
able
there,
to-
okay.
Yeah,
Watch it more.
Yeah,
And
we talked about
To
it.
what?
There was a-
Vandalism and so forth.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
talked about it at the council meeting.
Well, that must have been before I came back then, so.
Yeah.
Takes me a while to catch up sometimes. But, I guess the other thing was, I look back here and I see that what was proposed for a dog walk or off-leash dog park,
Yeah.
and looked like it was a fairly large area, back in an area that was a way that dogs and stuff shouldn't have been. And kinda what I see now is something that resembles the size of my kitchen and living room. But, there again, why was that moved to where it is now? Seemed to me it would've been much better to leave it where it was, just my opinion, so I asked the question.
Agreed. Because what it is now, there's no way to take a big dog with my dog. It's just too small.
Right, yeah.
Way
No,
too small.
I'm not through there every day, but the many times during the summer that I was through, I've actually never seen a dog in it.
Not even.
And
the
the ones
fence is
that are
messed
there
up.
are running loose out around it, so,
Yeah, and the fence is messed up there anyway.
Yeah.
well, that's,
Yeah, that was just a concept that print out there from the, survey with the Corps of Engineers. They would have to approve some of that.
And I did remember too, another reason why they moved that splash pad was because of the bathrooms. It
Yeah.
had been so many.
okay, I can
Yeah.
understand that, yeah, yeah.
And instead of building, more
People-
bathrooms,
yeah.
we already had the one there and it was just like a.
Yeah, that's okay, fine, people, I mean, there again, some people ask, and it's kinda
Right.
like, well, when did we decide to move it and why, whatever. If there's an explanation, there's an explanation, but I personally, and some others the same way, couldn't really see why they moved the dog run
Exactly.
From the front.
from behind the ballparks to up in the area, not exactly right next to, but in proximity to the splash pad and everything, so. And as I said before, I've never seen any dogs in it,
Nope.
so. I
Should
think,
have been 3 acres.
pardon?
The original dog park should have been 3 acres.
I never did see a specific size, but it was obviously a
A
large
lot
area,
larger than what
Right.
it is.
so,
Well, I mean, if
So
you
what
live
do-
in an apartment, that's better than living you gotta take your dog somewhere. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I
I would
mean,
not take my dog's too big to go there.
Well, I have a 105-pound dog.
Fence off 3 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, that's
My
a lot of
dog-
money.
I would not take
And
my dog.
Tammy donated.
I think Tammy
Baker
donated.
donated the
Yeah, she
fence.
donated the dog park.
I mean,
Yeah.
quite frankly,
Right,
I'm
Tammy?
happy with it.
I did,
It's
yeah.
better than nothing.
Okay.
Well, you got a place for your dogs to run,
I
I'm
do,
sure.
for now,
And,
but like Mike said, I've never seen dogs in there either.
no,
So
I
I
just,
don't know.
well, you can't make people bring their
Well,
dogs.
I agree with that.
no, you can't.
I mean, I'll be truthful, I'm not gonna take my dogs
And I'm
there.
not taking mine.
And not because of that, it's because I have a puppy and I'm not
Right.
bringing my puppy around other dogs that I don't know's
Yeah.
been vaccinated.
Right.
I mean,
Well, and Mayor, I think at some point, I know I had talked to Faith about doing like a ribbon cutting or grand unveiling of the dog park. So I think that's like in the works maybe for the spring, like doing like a publicized thing about, oh, we've got the dog park and doing like a thing there.
That's true, yeah, sounds good, okay. All right, Mike, you anything else?
I think that's enough for tonight, yeah, that's.
All right.
Well, some others, because I had other questions about the ARP money and that, but if we don't have the, other than this or anything else to say what the total, where we can spend it, and other suggestions, we're just.
We'll give you some more
What I
information on
got.
that tomorrow, then have
Or what I
time.
pulled
We'll
off
have time
today.
here at the next meeting for sure, and for that reason. Okay, let me see, that's it, entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, it's
Hey,
Kenny.
Hey, wait a minute.
He wants to get in there.
You get, you know, you get the second, remember?
Oh, you get the second one, remember? Mike wants the first.
I'll concede it to Kenny this
You
time.
wanna do the first one?
First one of the year is his. There you go.
Okay, so motion by Kenny, who's the second?
I'll second.
Okay. Mike Heffley. He got a second. There's been a first and a second under okay. All in favor? To adjourn, there you go, all hands are up. Thank you, council. Thank you, citizens. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you, Mayor. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Hope she feels better, gets over that cold, burned body.
You almost snuck that one in on me.
I know, Mike, you're crazy. You almost missed that.
Kenny got quick on that one.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a spot motion.
I wasn't thinking we were ready to adjourn quite yet.
What is it? Alabama.
Alabama?
Alabama's playing for the national title. I've got to go home.
What time to come on? See ya. What time?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock? Oh, man.
Go, girl, go.
My granddad won't let me have the TV.
8:15.
We're out of here.
I'm gonna miss the whole first half.
Oh, no.
Well,
not
I've
this-
seen you drive. You'll make it there.
Not a person I wish you were.
Oh, well, that's true. Oh, good Lord.
I'm gonna shut my doors.
All right.
This one was bothering me a little bit over the weekend. I put drops in it. It's a lot better.